Have a junk drawer somewhere in our home. Places like mail might pile up in that until we come and get it.
Oh yeah, but imagine an entire home with piles and piles of stuff. Here's Krista Dubill with an in-depth look at something affecting at least 1 in 20 Americans: hoarding.
It's hard for most people to imagine walking through like a house like this one every day, but for many, this is the norm. This is where they live. It's more than just stuff and much more than just a disinterest in cleaning.
People choose different things to use as vices. Some use drugs, some use alcohol, some smoke, and some collect things.
Surrounded by things like papers, yarn, clothes, and toys, this hoarder agreed to take us into her world to help us understand. We'll call her Liz. She lives here with her teenage daughter.
This is where my child sleeps.
This is home, where it's normal to navigate through the mounds.
This is where I sleep and spend my downtime.
The state considers Liz's home unfit for her daughter, so she's trying to clean up. A local company's been hired to come in, go through things as fast or as slow as Liz needs. More on that in a minute.
The kitchen has been organized, and we're trying to keep up with the dishes and everything. It is true, you do get used to seeing it, and then you start to look past it. You feel ashamed of what it is, and you don't want everybody to really know what your issue is.
And contrary to what you might think, she doesn't feel all that disorganized.
For the most part, I could find what I'm looking for.
Where hoarding is really defined is where we can walk in and see that people have really lost control over their ability to manage their possessions.
Dr. Lisa Hale, a psychologist who's never met Liz, understands hoarders are misunderstood.
A huge misconception is that hoarders, just need to pick themselves up by the bootstraps, that they're lazy, they're slovenly, that they just want to live that way.
Dr. Hale says it's not that way at all. There are many different scenarios which might lead to hoarding. 75% of hoarders engage in excessive buying. 50% excessively acquire free items. 15% acknowledge their behavior is irrational. And it affects a variety of people. Experts estimate 5% of the population are hoarders, or 1 in 20. That's twice the rate of obsessive-compulsive disorder and 4 times the rate of bipolar and schizophrenia. And yet hoarding isn't recognized as a disorder. But that's about to change. For the first time, the group in charge of updating the manual all mental health professionals use for diagnosing is planning to add hoarding as its own category next year.
For years, we haven't known how to exactly code and classify that. And what that's meant is that reimbursement issues have been more difficult, research funding and issues have been more difficult for people. So we're hoping with this clear diagnostic category, that's really going to move the field forward.
A chance for diagnosis and treatment, eventually partnered with a strategic cleanup.
Our clients who have more of the issues of disorganization, hoarding.
That's where someone like Ann Graves comes in. Graves is a professional organizer.
I've seen a lot of it, yeah, anywhere from just more like a chronic disorganization, people not knowing what to do with things that come into their home, all the way up to their dumpster diving and trying to figure out what things that they can acquire for free or very little to keep in their home, to have in their home.
Graves's company, We Organize, is working with Liz. The company's based in Parkville, but they travel all over.
We first go in and take a look at what's happening as far as the accumulation of things and talk to the person about their comfort level and getting rid of things.
On a scale of 1 to 10, Graves says Liz is a 7 when it comes to hoarding. She's seen worse. But for Liz, what's important is she sees it herself.
Sometimes too much is too much, and to seek help is what's really important.
And right now, if someone has young children or is over the age of 65, there may be assistance when it comes to cleaning up or getting organized. The state of Kansas provides fundings in certain situations when they feel like it's an unfit place to live for the elderly or children, but that's not the case in Missouri.
Well, that change would really be a big thing to help these people.
This book, this is the manual that all professionals can use to diagnose a mental disorder. Hoarders isn't in here, hoarding isn't in here. And for this change to be added in May of next year, that's the first step to getting help, is being able to have a diagnosis so they can then receive the assistance.
Why is it taking so long to get this all figured out, or for us to even know about it?
And that's the thing, is it's been going on for so long. One, it's very, they're ashamed, and it's a very secretive thing. A lot of times they don't want someone to know, so they don't get the help. And two, the experts I talked to said actually the show Hoarders on A&E has actually brought this to light in a way that it's actually more known about now than it's ever been.
Wow. And a lot of people talk about it, you're right.
Just really quickly, we do have more information on our website. If you or someone you know, we've put some links on there that everybody told us are the places you need to go if you want help. It's all on our website at kshb.com.
Okay, wow.
Thanks,
Thank you, Krista.